I love this blouse. It is a beautiful blouse, but I'll tell you something. It's a good thing it's Woo Wednesday because it's looking like I got on ghostly rags here right now. I've got on ghostly rags. It's cracking me up because the blouse is pretty, like, it's a beautiful turquoise. The color looks very different on this camera, but it's a beautiful kind of turquoise blue. On the camera, it looks very blue, but there's a lot of green in it, and I took that for granted. And so my green screen and this camera are like, you are transparent. Yes, I am. Hey, so what are we talking about today? We are talking about you selling yourself rather than trying to sell your coaching. So a lot of coaches, and I think that we're just taught that we are not the product. We're taught that we are not the product. But one of the things that changed my work and my sales was realizing that actually people are buying into me. So a lot of coaches think that they have to sell the coaching, but actually they're selling the container um, that is an energetic match to the client that they want to sell to. So your client is not hiring your methodology, even though it seems like she is, or they are. I work with women. You don't have to work with women. Your clients are hiring a frequency. They're hiring your frequency. And that means that they're hiring a specific quality of consciousness, a specific quality of wisdom, and a specific quality of presence that only you can actually carry. Like, that's you. That's what makes you unique. And your client knows that on a subconscious level. That's why they like you or they don't like you. And that's why there's no competition. So today we're going to be talking about your value proposition. And your value proposition is not just like a statement that tells people what you do. That is what it is. But what's more important is that it's an energetic declaration. It's a vibrational statement of who you are, who you serve, and what becomes possible if you and that person who's resonating with it decide to co-create together. Your value proposition is really important. Understanding it for me became a game changer, and I want you to have that same effect. So when your value proposition is vague, it transmits nothing. It has the weight of inert. I don't know what inert gas is. I was going to say it has the weight of inert gas. And then I'm like, ooh, I don't know what inert gas is. I learned that back in junior high school, but I do not remember what inert gas is. Shame on me. But I can look that up and learn it. What I'm trying to say is that when your value proposition is vague and general, it doesn't transmit anything, okay? It's just that, like, you're trying to reach everybody. You've heard me say this before, okay? I'm going to keep saying it but I'm going to say it in different ways so that you get it on a really deep level and you keep going deeper and deeper and more specific with what you're offering until you hit that sweet spot where it is your statement is carrying the frequency of what it is that God is trying to work through you. Your divine genius is not vague, and it's not for everybody. Don't you get that? Your divine genius is meant to reach millions. But that doesn't mean that you try to accommodate millions. You don't cater to millions. You don't adapt to millions. What you do is you become more and more the vessel of your divine genius. And then you keep putting yourself out there and you let people get magnetized to you. You keep putting yourself out there, expanding your divine genius, becoming more and more your own divine genius. Your divine genius is merely who you are touched by God. That's your divine genius. You become more and more of that and you nurture that. You have to nurture your divine genius. You nurture it by learning more about it. You nurture it by putting it out there in the world and seeing what feedback it gets. But that doesn't mean you shut it down. You use feedback from the outside to refine it, right? To listen and to bring more of you into it, to bring more, to unleash more divine genius. When somebody comes and they watch the live stream and they're like, I don't like that topic. What I do is I use that feedback to help me recognize what resonates with my divine genius and what does not. I'm 56 years old. Now I know my divine genius. So when people give me criticism, it is most likely that I'm expanding my divine genius by becoming more of what I am, what my divine genius is. So if somebody says that's boring, what I do is I say, let me do more of that, because what I want to do is shake off all those things that are not a vibrational match to what I am. I'm a teacher. I want you to have a 6-figure business, not a 5-figure business, not $99,000 business. Sure as hell not a $30,000 business. Okay. So what I do is become more of the 6-figure coach. Maybe I even expand into the 7-figure coach and I start teaching that so that all the excess can be flicked away. So let me get back on topic. I've got 4 ways for you to bring more of your spiritual, energetic self into your business, more of your divine genius into your business. And this is particularly around your offer, okay? Your offer and your messaging. Your offer is what you do, how you help people, but it's packaged in a way where it is articulatable. You can understand it. We can understand it. Your offer is the physical expression of your frequency in the marketplace. It's the form of your gifts, and there has to be intentionality behind what you're offering, okay? It can't just be, I'm going to get here and just put something together that, 3 steps and that's it. There needs to be genius in your offer. So if you're that woman who built your offer from what your mentor or your coach told you to build, okay, that's fine to use their templates as your starting point, right? Whatever you learned when you got certified. I had somebody who was learning with me, okay? She was learning with me, studying with me, and then she decided that she wanted to go the cheap and quick way. And so she went out and she got a certification over a 2-day period. All right. As she said, well, we were together for 16 hours over those 2 days. And I'm like, you just said that out loud. You think that now because you, who never coached anybody before, you went into a 16-hour program, 16 hours, and now you're a coach. I said, you may move on because that's not the quality of what I do. And you know what? They said, oh, you can use our templates. Those templates were so freaking generic. Not only were they generic, they were also ugly. They were a color that had nothing to do with the heart of a woman that was spiritual, that claimed to be spiritual. And I don't function that way. Okay. What I want for you is to be a coach who brings her authentic divine genius. And yes, it might take you a little bit more time, but it's not going to cost you a little bit more money because you can go to those coaching meat market programs. They will charge you for 16 hours. They will charge you $10,000 and they will give you 16 hours worth of coaching training and some generic templates. Now, if you think that that is appropriate for you to go into business with, good for you. This is a free country and God bless you. And you might get some clients who would buy from that. This person, by the way, has 0 clients, 0. And it's been a year. I'm just saying that generic is not sexy. Generic, like everybody else, is not sexy. And yes, again, you may use that as a starting point, but if that is what you're going to carry forward into your coaching business, there's nothing to differentiate you from the people near you or around you or whatever. There's no differentiation. It is not good, my friends. I'm so sorry. It does not mean that you're lost though. Okay. Take what I'm giving you in this video and use it. Up level the templates that you've gotten. Step into something that is more your divine genius, not their divine genius. All right. You want your work to transmit your frequency, not somebody else's. Okay, so welcome to the Spiritual Business Hour with Crystal Lynn Bell. I'm Crystal Lynn. I'm a spiritual business mentor. So what does that even mean? It means that I take a spiritual and energetic approach to everything that we do. And at the same time, we build you a real business, not, oh, we're going to just sit here and see what you feel like. I don't do that. That is somebody else who does that. I don't do that. What I say is that you have genius in you, and that genius needs a real business container that puts your genius out into the world systematically and consistently. And what that's going to do is bring you clients and bring you consistent income. Consistent clients, consistent income, regular payment every month. That, my friend, requires a system. So what I do is I diagnose where your business is failing, where you're lacking, okay, where your business is lacking the stuff, and even your mind can be lacking, right? We get you aligned in your mind with a real business. Because number one, if you have fear of having a business, if you have beliefs or ideas that say that you cannot uh, do business, that business is something else, you're not a businesswoman, you're not a six-figure woman, all those things are where your mind is trapped in a prison. And we must break your mind free from that prison, because none of those things are true. You're not lacking. You're not small. You're not incompetent. You might just need time and some training and some systems. That's what I do. Okay. Together, we build the sustainable systems that bring you paying clients every month. That's what we do together. All right. So what I've got for you today are four ways to use your energy and to bring your spirit and your heart into your value proposition. If you don't know what a value proposition is, it's basically a statement or a few statements that help people understand exactly who you are and how you can help them and what outcomes you bring them. Okay. Value proposition is incredibly important. If you are ignoring it or you haven't done one, that is a mistake that you have made. And luckily, it is correctable. All right. If you want to correct that mistake, then you want to come to the Liberated Coach Retreat that is happening August 28th through August 30th. The retreat is $497 to join for the weekend. However, if you sign up before this Friday, you can get it for $197. What are we going to be doing during the retreat? Well, there are 5 blueprints that you are going to walk away with. All of them, all of the blueprints together make up a powerful value proposition. So in other words, you're going to walk away being able to say exactly what it is that you do, and you're going to be able to say it in a way that makes it very clear to the person that you want to work with. That's important. But here's the thing. That's not all we're going to be doing during the Liberated Coach Retreat. There are 5 blueprints. So the very first blueprint is going to be about who you need to be in order to be a six-figure coach. That's the first blueprint, working on the inside. The next blueprint is going to be about understanding who you help and how you help them. That's where the value proposition starts. That's where it starts to get really juicy. That's where it begins, though. It's just the opening point. The third thing we're going to work on is the offer and your messaging. This is where we're going to get you really, really clear so that you know what content to create and you know what to say in your content. The fourth thing that we're going to be doing is working on the blueprint for your vessels. That's what your business looks like in the public eye. Website, landing pages, lead magnets, funnels, emails, all those things. We're going to be talking about that during the retreat as well. And then the last thing we're going to be talking about is your visibility and how you emerge, how you're going to put yourself out there. This is a 3-day retreat, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. On Monday, you are going to be ready to put all of these things in action. All right. So go ahead and sign up for the Liberated Coach Retreat. Now, back to the Spiritual Business Hour. What we're going to do today, I've got 4 ways for you to bring your magnetic, energetic self to your value proposition. All right. So the first way is to understand that your offer is an energetic transmission. It's not just a document. It's not just what you do. Oh, what I do is I do shadow work, light work, and healing on you. And then that's going to make you transform your entire life. Okay. That is not what your offer is. Your offer is an energetic transmission. It is a concentrated expression of your frequency that is either going to resonate with the woman that's encountering it, or it's not going to resonate. So when your offer is built from the full, genuine depth of what you bring to the table, your philosophy, your methodology, your personal hard-earned wisdom, it's going to be carrying a specific energetic signature that the right woman is going to recognize before she's even like processed the thing. This is the heart, okay? So she's going to feel it first. That is a feeling of recognition, not just recognizing you, but recognizing that that it's not recognizing you, it's recognizing herself in the thing that you've created. Do you realize how special that is? Do you realize that you, being the person who's created this is why I call it divine genius, you've brought your love to this thing. It is huge. You've brought your love, your hope, your experience, your ancestors, your spirit guides. You've taken the time to develop this thing. And that is what your offer is. This is important. Can you feel that? It's your love. It's energetic. So that frequency can only happen when the offer is coming from a place of truth rather than something that is generic. That is why I say, don't just take, your 16-hour coaching program, 16 hours of coaching. Don't just take your 16 hours of coaching and whatever they gave you, you just try to promote that. Don't do that. Okay? Bring more of you. It is worth your time and energy to sit down, spend 2 or 3 months just focusing on what it is you want to offer, bringing that to the table. All right, number 2, your philosophy is your sacred intellectual property. It comes from the divine. This is your divine genius in thought form. Your divine genius, you're embodying that. That's your life force energy. That's you and God in connection. And I hope to God that on a daily basis, you are connecting with your divine genius through meditation, through yoga, through spending time in nature, by being present, by charging your water, by eating with presence. I hope that you are doing all these things to help you connect with your divine genius. You're reading and you are enhancing what's inside you by what's outside you. You're enhancing it. You're not taking what they said and then just repeating it. I'm repeating it. You're not taking what ChatGPT said and then posting that as your own. Don't be doing that, my friend. All right. Again, we talked about this yesterday. I will not go on a rant again today, but I just want to remind you that ChatGPT is your servant. You are not its servant. You don't take its ideas and put those out there. You put your ideas into ChatGPT and let it help you make your ideas more you. So you take it and then you bring it back out and you relayer yourself into it. But you have to put you into ChatGPT. All right. That's a different class. That's a different episode of the Spiritual Business Hour. Okay. So your divine philosophy did not come from your certification program. No, it did not. It did not come from a course that you took online. It did not come from a book you read. No, it did not. It arrived through your life, through everything that you've experienced, everything that you've survived, everything that you have transformed, everything that you have integrated. Your philosophy came from your divorce. Your philosophy came from your, the loss of your loved one. Your philosophy came from your triumph. When you passed high school, okay? Passed high school. Clearly, I did not pass high school. Clearly. No, I did. I graduated from high school. Graduated. All right. But you understand that your philosophy is not what somebody else said. Your philosophy is what you have lived through, what you have experienced. I see my friend Jennifer is here. Hi, Jennifer. Hi, Zaina. I'm looking at the comments. Look at me looking at the comments, y'all. I did it. I looked at the comments. Okay, let me get back on track. The challenges you've gone through, that is where your philosophy comes from. The setbacks, that's part of your philosophy. Now, I am not a negative Nelly, but I emphasize the negative because y'all be too much of the time downplaying or hiding the negative. Hiding the negative, ashamed of the negative things that you've gone through. They only want to hear about my wins. No, they do not. No, they do not. No, we do not. We do not just want to hear about your wins, my friend. We want to hear about your losses, your challenges, your struggles. Why? Because we're doing that. Yes, we do want to hear about your wins too, but that is a two, as in an also. T-O-O, not T-W-O. T-O-O also, right? We want to know about the things that arrived in meditation and in dreams, okay? We want that too. We want to know what happened on your walk. We want that too, but we want the depth. If you're one-dimensional and you're just positive, that's not what's interesting. That's not what's helping us, all right? That's not what we're going to invest in. We're going to invest in the things that understand that life is on a spectrum, that there is dark and there is light. There is shadow and there is light. There are times of despair and there are times of hope and there are times of accomplishment and joy and success. We want all of it because that's human. So understanding that you have a philosophy that is within you, and that philosophy is intellectual property. So when you recognize that what is inside you is sacred, that you are going to actually start creating containers for it. So maybe you create a meditation or a program that helps people transform. That is your intellectual property, but you have to think those things through. So don't treat your philosophy as something that you got from somebody else, or I have to learn this person's philosophy over here. Instead, you're going to live and use their philosophy to help inform your own, but bring out your own opinions. All right, number 3, this is about your femininity, your divine femininity. Everybody has feminine and masculine in them. There are no exceptions. I don't care how much of a princess or a queen or an empress you think you are not only feminine, okay? You are feminine and you are masculine. You are masculine and you are feminine. I don't care how much of a dude you think you are and how much action oriented you are not just one. We have these polarities inside of us. And yes, we might lean more to the left or we might lean more to the right. Fine. But both are there and both work together, and you should be celebrating that. So I'm talking about right now your feminine intelligence. understanding that that is more of an, you see how there are spaces here in my shirt? The green is like, it looks like there are holes. That's the feminine, that spacious stuff, that mysterious stuff. That's the feminine. We all have it. We all have it. Whether you use it or not, that's up to you. Okay. You do need to train yourself. Okay. But understanding that that feminine aspect knows what your ideal client needs before you do. That part of you knows what is needed before the rational, logical, conscious, I got to see it to believe it part of myself knows. Did I say that right? The feminine self knows before the masculine self. The otherworldly self knows before the material self. That's what I'm trying to say. So your offer will not, the most powerful expression of your offer is not designed by ChatGPT. It is not designed even by you sitting down trying to brain it. It's accessed through your feminine intelligence and united with the masculine intelligence. That feminine intelligence is intuitive, empathic. You've probably heard the term embodied knowing. It's that part of you that perceives an aura before you know, without even knowing what an aura is. It's the intelligence that tells you, like when you're in a coaching session, what question to ask. I love it when I see this. I love it when my students, like when I watch my students coach one another, I love watching them like drop what I'm teaching them, right? They drop the philosophy. They learn the philosophy, but then they drop it. And then they just go with what is their natural gift. And the conversation starts. And then this one opens her heart. And then the other one is like channeling her own wisdom and bringing in things like, did you consider? It's just wonderful to watch. It's like their emotional truths come through the situation before the logic has like caught up. So when you apply this to the way your offer is designed, this intelligence gives you something that just analysis won't. I was talking to one of my friends, Stephanie Treasure, today. She's hosting a summit. And we were just talking, I think this was before the summit. We might have actually talked about this while we were doing my interview. But I was talking about Virgo, and she's a Virgo, and I have a Virgo moon. And so the two of us really respect the Virgo. The Virgo in me honors the Virgo in you, right? Namaste. And we were talking about so what I know about Virgos is that, and what Virgos will always say is, we are so analytical. I am so analytical. And they are. But the great thing about Virgos is they're analytical, but they are so intuitive. They are a feminine sign. They are connected to the divine feminine in a very, very powerful way. And so that is where I want you to kind of understand that feminine in you will open up to the intuitive, and she'll open up to the otherworldly messages, the real healing. She'll see the disease that's in the patient's body before the x-rays can show it. I remember, like, I would do massage on my clients. I was a massage therapist for years. Okay. I got certified as a massage therapist in 2002. And I think I practiced my last massage, which is pretty sad, but that was about in 2018. Okay. I love doing massage. And one of the gifts that I had was just knowing. And my clients always said, Crystal Lynn, you just put your hands right on the spot. And I'm like, I know. And it was just a knowing. And I would work with the lights on. And people, they're people, your intuition comes in different ways. My best friend was also highly intuitive. She worked with the lights off. Though, my eyes, I can see things. It's just, I can see things. I can see spirits. Okay, now it's Woo Wednesday, y'all. But I can, when I turn on the little thing here, I can literally see the spirits. I can see the angels in the room, and I see them with my own eyes. That's why I don't be seeing stuff. I be turning that off because I do not like to be in the house and seeing what's up in the house with me. I do not want to know. No, I do not. I do not need to see I do not need to see. So I do turn it off. But the gift was when I was with my clients on the massage chair or on the massage table, I would go in there and I'd have the lights on and I'd be looking and I'd be seeing all the stuff. I'd be seeing all the energetic blockages, and I would put my hands there. I would rub it out. I would do whatever I needed to do. That did not sound appropriate. That did not sound appropriate for a massage therapist to say, rub it out. That is not appropriate talk. But I did not do that kind of massage, I promise you. But I used my hands too and my elbows, okay? Changing the subject because that's kind of funny. My point, though, is that your intuition is very, very strong, okay? And, your soul, the souls of your clients are starving for, they're craving the love that you have brought into your business through your offers. They're craving it. So sitting in stillness with your ideal client in mind is a great way to infuse your offer with the feminine, that intuition, that power. Using your feeling nature to intuit what it is that she needs. That's really important. And letting what comes up, like a great exercise. I'll say to people, and I say this all the time, I do this all the time, hey, how are you? And they'll be, I'm fine. They'll go, I'm fine. Instead, practice feeling, pausing, and actually seeing how you feel. That's a great way to start this. Pause. How do you feel? I feel tension around my stomach. I feel my left elbow on this armrest. And then you allow the energy and the emotions to arise. What's arising? Anticipation, excitement, eagerness. That's what's right. That's what's arising in me. I feel it. You don't have to ask why. You can ask why. It's your body. These are your emotions. You can say, why am I feeling that? Why do I feel that? You can ask and get the answer. Try not to get it from your head, though. Get the answer from the body part that you're feeling. If you feel, I feel tension in my elbow, and actually, let's do that right now. Crystal Lynn's getting ready to do a little exercise. I've got this weird tingling in my elbow. What's this tingling? That elbow says, I'm just listening right now, by the way. Ooh, that elbow is saying preparation and alignment, realignment readjustment, recalibration. Ooh, it's also saying that there's something that's I'm holding on to. Ooh, it's saying there's something that I'm holding on to that I have to let go of before I move forward. Oh no. Hold on, y'all. Let me just be with this thing for a moment because it is being very clear right now. What is it that I have to let go of that I'm holding on to? That I have to let go of before I move forward. What is that thing? Are you going to tell me right now? Ooh, okay. There's something around forgiveness that needs to be let go before I can move forward. I'm going to do that at home because I'm not getting ready to get emotional up here on the spiritual business hour because this is about business, not my private business. This is about business in general. So I will be working on that tonight. But that's my point, my friends. Your offer comes from doing logical work. Okay, these are the 3 steps that we need to do. But it also comes from sitting and letting spirit work through you so that there's depth in your offer. All right, you want that spiritual depth in your offer. Now, here's my last bit of my last tip. Number 4. Okay, I want you to see your messaging as a spiritual practice. See your messaging as a spiritual practice. So if your messaging is kind of like rooted in really good philosophy that comes from your heart, it stops being content that you created or that you produce. Like it stops being just content and it starts being acts of spiritual service. It starts being acts of love, consistent, deliberate acts of love that you are putting out in the universe to help people. I write as much as I write and I post as much as I post because I care. I want my people getting it. I do the spiritual business hour. This is my baby right here. This is my, oh, oh, oh my God. I just saw, oh, I'm telling you, I just saw 2 gigantic monarch butterflies dancing together, flying together in front of my window, and then flying off over these really tall trees. They're not that far away. That was amazing. And they came just after I was talking about letting go and moving forward and forgiveness and sending out acts of love. I really manifested those butterflies. I know I sound so kooky right now, but I did. I mean, I felt like the way they came up, I felt like those butterflies just came from my heart. That was God's promise. That was divine genius at work. Okay. And this is what I'm talking about. You've got to be in your heart space, in the moment, being present. I was talking about the spiritual business hour and how this is my baby, right? This is my show. I love this show. I love being able to come here and say This is how you build a business. These are things you need to build a business, and they are true things. I know that when I say something here, I am saying the truth and I'm putting it out there, and I do it. Oh, and God was just like, yes, girl, do it. You keep doing that, Crystal Lynn. But that's what I want for you. I want you to have a deliberate practice of sending out your frequency into the world and trusting that the people who resonate with it are going to feel it and they are going to be drawn to it, just like those two beautiful monarchs came floating up right then, dancing together. This is the energetic mechanism behind you and behind that coach. Like, you see that coach who has content that you really just love, right? That's what we do. This is it. And look, here's the thing I want you to understand. The Spiritual Business Hour is brand new. It is only 2 months old. I've only been doing this. It's only 2 months old. It takes time to build an audience, and it takes time to build the courage to be able to do something like this. I went all in. I do it 5 days a week because I wanted the pressure. I wanted the pressure of having to show up here 5 days a week. What that pressure is doing for me is making me show up. It's making me be visible, whether I like it or not. It's forcing me to create content that matters. It's forcing me to philosophize. It's forcing me to write. It's forcing me to think. And I like it. I am so happy I did it. So yes, it's my baby. So friends, thank you so much for joining me for the Spiritual Business Hour. Come and join me for the Liberated Coach retreat happening not this weekend, but the next weekend. So come and join me. If you cannot make it live, you can have access to the replay. Sign up now before Friday, okay, when the price goes up to $497. You could get this high value retreat for just $197 instead of $497. Now, you could have gotten it when I told you to sign up for it when it was just $97, but you did not. Okay? You're going to regret it when you have to pay $497, and you're going to be like, how many of these people paid $97 or $197 and I waited and then I had to pay $497 because Spirit was like, you got to do it. Go ahead and do it. Sign up. And I look forward to seeing you tomorrow for Build It Thursdays, when we work on building your empire here on the Spiritual Business Hour. All right, friends, I'll catch you later. Bye for now. Bye.